Something's happening behind closed doors in Detroit that nobody saw coming. Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for the freshest updates, the deepest analysis, and the rumors that matter most about our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm bringing you something today that's going to shake the foundation of everything we thought we knew about this franchise's future. Stay with me through every word of this because what I'm about to reveal will have you questioning reality, checking your calendar, and maybe even shedding a tear or two. This isn't just another transaction. This is poetry. This is destiny calling. Let me paint you a picture. Ford Field is electric right now. The energy around this organization is unlike anything we've seen in generations. We're coming off back-to-back division titles. We're a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and Jared Goff has transformed into one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the entire league. Everything is clicking. The culture that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell built from scratch is the envy of the NFL. Teams are literally trying to poach our coordinators because they want to bottle what we've created here. So why would I be standing here telling you that something massive is brewing? Because sometimes in football, just like in life, the most beautiful stories aren't written in straight lines. They're written in circles. Think about the journey this franchise has been on. 4 years ago, we were at rock bottom. We had just fired another regime. COVID was raging. The future looked bleak. And then Sheila Hamp made the boldest decision in Lions history. She didn't just hire a new coach and GM. She tore down the entire structure and rebuilt it with a vision, with purpose, with that noble cause we've all come to embrace. She hired Brad Holmes, a first-time general manager with fresh eyes and innovative ideas. She hired Dan Campbell, a coach who bled Honolulu blue from his playing days and desperately wanted to bring glory back to this city. And together, they've created something magical. But here's where it gets interesting. Every great story has a catalyst. Every transformation has a moment that sets everything in motion. For the Lions, that moment happened in a conference room at the end of the 2020 season when Matthew Stafford, the face of this franchise for 12 years, sat down with Rod Wood and Sheila Hamp and asked for a trade. He wanted to win a Super Bowl. He wanted to go somewhere that could compete immediately. And you know what? We couldn't blame him. He had given everything to this organization, endured losing season after losing season, watched coach after coach fail to build a winner around him, so the Lions granted his wish. They traded him to the Rams for Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks, and a third-rounder, and Stafford got his Super Bowl ring. That trade changed everything for both sides. The Rams got their championship. We got the pieces to build a dynasty. Stafford lived his dream. We started living ours. It was the perfect ending to a complicated relationship, except maybe it wasn't the ending at all. Maybe it was just the intermission. Fast forward to today. The Rams are struggling. Their offensive line has been decimated by injuries. Their defense isn't what it used to be. They're in salary cap hell. And Stafford, now in his mid-30s, is taking hits he shouldn't be taking, playing behind protection that can't protect him, watching his legacy potentially end on a sour note. Meanwhile, here in Detroit, we've got everything he never had when he was here. We've got a dominant offensive line. We've got weapons everywhere. We've got a defense that can actually get stops. We've got a culture of winning. We've got a coach who believes in his players. We've got a city that's finally tasting success after decades of heartbreak. Now, I need you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes for a second. Picture Ford Field in the playoffs. Picture the crowd going absolutely ballistic. Picture a quarterback under center who knows every blade of grass in that stadium, who understands what it means to wear Honolulu blue, who has unfinished business with this city. Picture a veteran signal caller who can mentor our young guys, who can provide insurance, who can help us get over the hump in those crucial moments when experience matters most. Picture a reunion that nobody thought was possible. Picture number 9 back in Detroit. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford potentially returning to the Lions. Yes, you heard that right. Matthew Stafford. Coming home. And before you dismiss this as fantasy, before you say, "I've lost my mind," hear me out, because the pieces are actually starting to align in ways that make this more realistic than you might think. The Rams are in a tough spot financially. They've got massive contracts on the books and limited flexibility. Stafford's cap hit is substantial, and with their championship window closing, they might be looking to reset. Meanwhile, Stafford himself has to be looking around the league and seeing what's happening here in Detroit. He's seeing Jared Goff, the guy he was traded for, thriving in the system that Holmes and Campbell built. He's seeing former teammates like Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker anchoring one of the best offensive lines in football. He's seeing a team that's built to win right now. And he has to be thinking about legacy, about what could have been, about what still could be. From our perspective, this would be the ultimate full-circle moment. Goff has been phenomenal, don't get me wrong. He's earned every bit of respect and success he's achieved here. But what if we could add Stafford as a veteran presence? What if we could bring him back not as a savior, but as a piece of a championship puzzle? What if the guy who started this whole transformation could be here to see it through to the ultimate glory? The poetry of it all is almost too perfect. Think about what Stafford would bring to this locker room. He knows what it's like to lose here. He knows the pain, the frustration, the heartbreak. But he also knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl now. He's been there. He's done it. He could mentor our younger players, share that championship experience, and provide invaluable wisdom in crucial moments. Plus, the emotional impact of his return would energize this entire city in ways we can't even imagine. The prodigal son coming home. The guy who asked to leave because he wanted to win, returning because Detroit finally figured out how to win. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. We've got Goff, we're winning, why mess with success? And those are fair questions. But great organizations think 3 steps ahead. They plan for contingencies. They create depth. They don't just build for today, they build for sustained excellence. Having 2 capable quarterbacks who can push each other, who can learn from each other, who can ensure we're never one injury away from disaster, that's not a luxury. That's smart team building. And if there's one thing we've learned about Holmes and Campbell, it's that they're always thinking bigger than the moment. The logistics would be complicated, sure. Contract negotiations, roster moves, salary cap maneuvering, but if any front office in the NFL can pull off something this complex and make it work, it's ours. Holmes has proven time and again that he can work magic with the cap. Campbell has shown he can manage egos and get everyone buying into the team-first mentality. And Sheila Hamp has demonstrated she's willing to make bold moves when they align with the organization's vision and values. This would be the boldest move yet. Imagine Stafford in a Lions uniform again, but this time surrounded by the talent and infrastructure he never had during his first stint. Imagine him throwing to Amon-Ra St. Brown, handing off to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, protected by that elite offensive line. Imagine him working with Ben Johnson's creative play calling, thriving in a system designed to maximize quarterback success. Imagine him finally getting to experience playoff football at Ford Field with a team built to make a deep run. The narrative writes itself. And here's the thing that makes this even more intriguing. Stafford's wife, Kelly, has been open about how much they love Detroit. Despite all the losing, despite the frustration, they built a life here. They raised their family here. They have roots in this community. The idea of returning wouldn't just be about football. It would be about coming home in every sense of the word. It would be about finishing what he started. It would be about being part of the greatest story in Detroit sports history. Look, I'm not saying this is a done deal. I'm not saying it's even probable at this exact moment, but I am saying that the circumstances are aligning in ways that make this conversation worth having. The Rams might need to move on. Stafford might want one more shot at glory with a legitimate contender, and the Lions might see an opportunity to add a championship-caliber quarterback who already knows and loves this city. Stranger things have happened in the NFL, and in Detroit, we're learning that anything is possible when you have the right leadership, the right culture, and the right vision. This is the kind of move that would send shockwaves through the entire league. It would dominate every sports talk show. It would be the story of the offseason. But more importantly, it would show that Detroit is no longer the place players leave to win. We're the place players want to come back to because we've finally built something special. We're no longer the lovable losers. We're the team everyone wants to beat and everyone wants to join. So here's my question for you, Lions fans. How would you feel about Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit? Do you think it makes sense for where we are as a team right now? Would you embrace him back with open arms? Or do you think we should ride with Goff and not look back? Can you imagine the emotion of seeing number 9 take the field at Ford Field again, but this time with a legitimate chance to bring a championship home? I want to hear every single one of your thoughts on this. Drop your comments below right now. Tell me if I'm crazy, or if you see the vision, tell me how you'd feel watching Stafford in Honolulu blue again. Let's have this conversation because this is the kind of moment that defines franchises. And listen, if you want to stay ahead of every development on this story and every other Lions rumor, you need to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and join the Lions News Fan Report family. We're bringing you the most in-depth analysis, the fastest updates, and the conversations that matter most to this fan base. Don't miss a single update because things are moving fast in Detroit, and you want to be the first to know when news breaks. Let's build this community together and ride this incredible journey all the way to a championship. One pride forever. Let's go, Lions!